Sometimes, you can't escape the carnage.
I lied. I know in my previous video I promised that I'll get this video out sooner, but as you can tell by the first 2 minutes of this video, I got a little bit distracted. Whether it was worth it or not is entirely up to your opinion. But anyway, the rest of the video should be like my previous videos, so let's get underway with a sprint race in China. We'll be starting in the hards, doing something slightly different. So let's get ready for the race start from the back of the grid, because we are doing it in reverse championship order. Out of the line, Big T jumps us. Japes in front, got a little bit of wheel spin and there's contact in front. Give Japes a little nudge. Give him a little nudge again. And a third nudge for luck. And the game rightly gives us a warning for contact with Japes. Now, surprisingly, no front ring damage from that, and that's going to be a theme of this video. As you're now going to go into turn 6, I'm going to be looking down the inside here, because I know I can make some moves here. We end up going up the inside of 2 cars, but we are left enough room at the apex by Wintrush, and we exit the corner, still behind Wintrush, but up 1 position over Japes. But I'm still in the exact same position that I started the sprint race in, because we lost a position to Big T at the start, and now we've gained another position over Japes. But that is about to change as we head into turn 11. I'm going to try and go for a move up the inside of Wintrush, but I end up making a move on Don Ravico as well, and nearly wiping out Davids at the same time. So a big scary moment there. And now Don Ravico and Wintrush are side by side behind me, and Big T and Gems look like they've had it coming together. They have rejoined the track from both sides, so now we have a gaggle of 4 or 5 cars behind us. And we're going to brake for turn 14, but everyone else behind seem to have different ideas. Not that it matters too much, I've only lost 2 positions because of that, so it could have been worse. I won't say too much about that incident, I wasn't too heavily involved in it, and the stewards who made the decision. For me, after the race, I just thought it was rather hilarious how many cars ended up being involved in that crash. But anyway, back to the here and now. Obviously, Gems has been able to get back past me with that whole crash. So I'm now wanting to try and get back past Gems, because I don't think it's right for me to be stuck behind him. So I go to the inside turn 6, brake late, and we both make it to the apex perfectly fine. On the exit, have a little bit of a touch there. We are now slightly ahead into turn 7, and it looks like Gems just gets 2 of his tyres on the inside curve, which causes him to lose traction, and that gives me the position. But that's not the end of the bad luck for him, because out of turn 11 I decide, you know what, I don't think I like rear grip anymore. I think I would like to have a half spin in front of Gems. And again, that was contact to my front wing, and I didn't get any damage from it. And now, finally, we can take a break and look at the race start from different angles. So going on to lap 4, we are now going to try and make a move on sensor fault, but I had my front wing set to a value far too low for the sprint race, so I was getting far too much understeer in turn 1, which has meant I couldn't overtake sensor fault around the outside, but thankfully his teammate, Panchu Star, is not currently in the session, so his AI is currently driving his car for him. He's going to be slow, that's going to give us a bit of an opening around the outside for turn 6. Both me and sensor fault are going to make our way past Panchu Star at the exact same time, side by side into turn 6, around the outside. Sensor fault gives us the room, and we are able to get him on the exit of the corner. So, let's take a look at that again from the external views, because I like making my videos twice as long as they should be. And at the end of lap 6, we are going to try and make a move on Gems, because he got hooked on the curve on the exit of the final turn. You know, fly past into turn 1, but of course we are playing understeer simulator, so we duly go wide and open up the door again to Gems, and he is going to take it. Now, there was a banner that popped up above his head saying that he was under AI control. I'm not entirely sure what that had to do with anything, because it didn't seem like he was under AI control, but maybe that's why he was slow on the straights. It's a bit difficult to really know exactly what happened. Now at the end of that lap, we are going to end up unfortunately making contact with Debocock in front, causing him to have a bit of a slide, but I did immediately lift off the throttle to prevent myself from gaining any advantage. But that does not, of course, exclude me from attempting another overtake into turn 1, which is seemingly going to happen quite easily as I seem to have a lot more straight line speed. But again, turn 1, understeer happens, and we open up the door for Debocock to come back up the inside and retake the position. But out of turn 3, I'm able to get a significantly better exit as Debocock gets a load of wheel spin. Allows me to go around the outside into turn 6. Again, no battery, but I do have brakes, and I'm able to brake late enough around the outside to take the position on the exit of the corner. Now, going on to the final lap of the sprint race, we are going to have a slightly funny moment, as Don Revico and the Mercedes behind is going to get on the power and potentially the EOS a little bit too aggressively on the exit of turn 11, and is going to have a rendezvous with the wall on the inside. But remember the words at the beginning of the video. That's right, I never skipped the carnage. So, final lap of the sprint race, turn 14, what could possibly go wrong? Well, several things. Number one, I'm going on the brakes very late, then lock the rears and almost slide into the side of Fed and Puzzle, nearly causing a colossal collision. But that's just about all of the chaos and the carnage over for the sprint race. And we still have 28 laps of the full feature race still to come. So, brace yourselves. So let's go to the start of the main race. The strategy is going to be a simple one stop from mediums to hards, and let's go to the 5 red lights. Yes, I did just do that. And honestly, I think that is the biggest crash I've been involved in so far in my online league racing experience. Well, I suppose there's a first time for everything. But anyway, let's look at that again from different angles and in slow-mo so that I can explain what is going through my head at the time. So to start off with, I was side by side with Winters and I was trying to get past him. And we were both gaining on Buerta in front. Now, Buerta went over to the right-hand side to follow the racing line, and that opened up the door for me to go around the outside. Now, at the same time, Winters is on the inside of Buerta, and at this point, when we've hit the brakes, I realized I've hit the brakes much later than David's, and I'm about to go into the back of David's here. So I try and work my way over to the right-hand side of David to try and create some space. Didn't have any room on my inside, made contact with Buerta, which then tipped me over into Winters and caused that massive pile-up. So, the stewards have given me a penalty for that. Perfectly understandable. I am the one who moved off his line. Although it was in avoidance of David's, at the end of the day, I should have still braked a little bit earlier, and even then, just stay in my lane. Because I changed lanes and I went over to the right hand side when we were already in a 3 wide situation, it led to this contact. But it did make for a good intro though. Now this is where I start making quite a few mistakes in my driving. Because of that crash at the beginning of the race, it definitely gave me a hit to my confidence. So because of that, I was braking too early for many of the corners, then not braking hard enough, braking too soft, going deep into the corner and leading to side-by-side moments like you just saw there with Big T. At this point, Jim's and David's in front have been having a bit of argy-bargy going on between them, so I'm now hoping to make a move on one of them. So I decide to line up Jim's forward move into turn 6. Now he is going to try and hold me off on this move, so he's not going to brake as early as he had previously. Now we almost made contact with the back of David's again, but James is still there on the outside, and we're about to go side by side again into turn 7, but this time James was not going to take this line down, and he's going to fight his way through ahead of us, and then I in turn end up understeering into him, making contact with him in turn 8. But I'm still close enough for a move here into the chicane here, braking late, but then going a bit too deep, unlock my front left tyre slightly. So a bit of a cheeky move for me there, but I was thankfully ahead enough at the apex that it didn't impede James too much. But we are now side by side out of turn 13. At this point, my eyes are purely on Big T because I know he's going to try and capitalize on the situation. So I go over right to the inside of the track, trying to prevent him from going for a move there. He goes for the move regardless, locks up his front left tire, and then we make contact and the two of us end up driving off the track. So once again, there's carnage and chaos, and once again I've lost a lot of positions. At this point I just felt like I was a yo-yo, just going up and down the order, but staying in the same relative place. So now at this point I was starting to feel quite frustrated, and I ended up making more braking mistakes. Not braking hard enough for turn 11, ended up making contact with the back of Big T, set me into half spin, and at this point I was just starting to lose time hand over fist. And again, turn 14, not braking anywhere near hard enough, just missing the corner completely. Lap 7, and there's going to be even more contact in front as there's a collision between 3 cars. That's going to slow down Spikes and Don Arabico and bring me back into this race somewhat. Now at the end of lap 7, at this point Rickus unfortunately had lost connection, so he was no longer in the session, so his AI was driving his car for him, and that slowed up Spikes in front, so that allowed me to now try and go for a move here into turn 1, but I didn't really have enough battery. Going side by side through turn 1, it's good hard racing between the two of us. I'm able to sneak back up the inside for turn 2, and then for turn 3, Spikes is going to have the slightly better line, and we're going to have a fairly equal exit here. And again, I'm going to try and get him into turn 6, but I'm braking a little bit too early because again, my confidence just isn't really there. End up cutting the corner slightly, have a bit more contact on the exit. And at this point, Spikes was not going to let me try and drive past him into turn 7, so this battle will have to continue on for another lap. But then the safety car is called out, as Skylar Sims has managed to pit his car in the wall in the pit lane entry. So that means that we'll now all have to go into the pits, put on the hard tyres, and we'll take away any further battling on these mediums. So here we are now at the safety car restart. The two in front of me, Spikes and Don Arabico, have gone from the hards onto the mediums, so I decided to take this restart fairly gently and not push too hard, because I knew that I would have better tyre life towards the end of this race, and I didn't want to get involved in any more silly accidents. So I was just going to sit back, let the two in front of me try and make up ground, and then follow them if I can. Otherwise, the safety car has hurt me a little bit because there's no difference in tyre delta anymore, and I was hoping to go a little bit longer in that first stint and try and build up a tyre delta difference that would make it a bit easier for me to work my way up the field, but obviously the safety car has prevented any of that from happening. And surprise, surprise, guess who's behind me again? That's right, for the umpteenth time today, Big T is challenging me yet again for this position. So it turns out what happened is Big T got damaged in that first stint and had to change his front wing in the pits. That caused him to drop back behind me, and now he wants his position back again. So he's now challenging me through turn 13. But it turns out I was running significantly lower wings than he was running, so I can just sprint away from him on the straight, and he can't quite get close enough or move. Now at this stage of the race, I was starting to get a bit more confident again on the brakes, but so was everyone else. So I wasn't entirely confident in my ability to hold Big T behind me for the rest of this race. And indeed, on lap 19, Big T is going to do a dive bomb on the inside, and I give him just the minimal amount of room necessary, and he still managed to make the move stick. Again, at this point, I just wasn't really braking to my full capacity, so I was having to brake a little bit earlier, and I wasn't quite as quick through the corners as I would have liked to have been. So I actually let Big T through after that to allow him to go and work his way up through the field and try and create some movement so that I could try and follow him as well and allow me to work up the field as well, because otherwise I was just stuck in a bit of a stalemate. So now I'm going to try and make a move on Spikes, and he is going to try and defend it. I braked as late as I thought I could, but again Spikes is doing just enough to maintain the position, and I'm not able to get the rotation I needed mid-corner. But thankfully those mediums on Spikes' car are starting to go away as he locks up into turn 11, which allows me to get a better run out of turn 13, putting me close enough for a move into turn 14. And end of lap 22, I'm going to fake a move to the inside of Don Ravico into turn 14, and Don Ravico is going to end up braking a bit too late, locks up both of his front tyres, which sends him completely wide off the track and gives both me and Spikes the position. Now something weird ended up happening here. Spikes is challenging me here into turn 1, but as I work my way through turn 1 and 2, I just start getting massive amounts of over-rotation. It's almost like as though I had a rear puncture. So I don't know what exactly happened there. I didn't think I was applying the throttle too aggressively. I just had no rear grip for that corner on that lap in particular. Because after this, the car felt fine again. So something strange. But otherwise, after that, for once in this race, nothing really happened. I maintained my position in P7, built a bit of a gap to the cars behind, but wasn't really gaining on the train of cars in front. So that's the video of both the sprint race and the main race. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.